Well, we apologize for the earlier technical difficulties that we've had with some sound issues. So we apologize on Sports Today for behalf of all of our family members. This will not be repeated. We are fixing it and hope that it's sorted out at this point. This video, what I'm going to present to you is about the comeback of one of the greatest tennis players that has ever played. Yes, Djokovic fans will argue, Roger Federer fans will argue, but there's no denying the fact that Rafael Nadal is one of the greatest that you've seen. Now, there is a video that went yesterday on his official Twitter handle. On that Twitter handle, there was the first starting visual of him being in pain in that round 2 encounter at Australia 2023. It was against America's Mackenzie Harvey. Now, because of that match now, he was sidelined for 1 whole year. But then in the later part, there is a montage of a press conference that he did. There, a defiant Nadal is stating, "No, I don't want my career to end in this way. Never." And because of this, then you saw visuals of him working hard, training, getting back to fitness. Now, the end of that 52-second long video that he shared on Twitter, Rafael Nadal made a grand announcement, a spectacular announcement that sent the entire tennis world into a frenzy. He's back. Yes, Rafael Nadal has given the date when he's coming back to international tennis. So, if you look at it, Rafael Nadal has announced his tennis comeback. He will play in the first week of January in Brisbane. Brisbane serves as one of the few tournaments after Sydney and then in Melbourne, where you'll play the Australian Open. The 2-3 hard courts tournaments that you play, there you hone your skill and ensure that you are ready for the Australian Open. So January 1st week, 2024, Rafa's back. And earlier also, towards the fag end of the ATP season, he had said that 2024 is my final year and he'll be wanting to achieve some goals. What are those goals? I will come to it later in the video. But yes, mark those dates. January 1st week, Rafael Nadal is back in international tennis. In that press conference, the determination that he should do well on the tennis court and then retire on the tennis court was evident. He stated, "I don't deserve to end like this. I believe I have worked hard all my sports life so that my end isn't here at a press conference. I am going to work hard to finish my career in the right way." Now, this is what Rafael Nadal wants. End it in the tennis court and not end his career like a whimper in a press conference. When Rafael Nadal announced his comeback, a 17-year-old coincidence cropped up and it was highlighted on social media. Rafael Nadal made it to the front page of L'Equipe. L'Equipe, in that it was titled Il Revient. Il Revient means it is back. He is back. 17 years earlier, the same headline had been used for another legend, Il Revient, in the case of Zinedine Zidane. At that time, this was used when Zidane came back and in 2006 led France to the World Cup final, where they lost to champions Italy in the penalty shootout. Here, Nadal is back after 1 year. And two legends separated by 17 years of coincidence. It was highlighted by one of the French journalists at that time. He stated, "Rafa makes the cover of tomorrow's L'Equipe. For reference, this is the exact same headline that when Zidane returned and captained France to 2006 World Cup final." A very, very nostalgic sigh in that. So, the good times are back when it comes to the French Open. And he'd want to add one more chapter to the rivalry that he's got with Novak Djokovic. Because in order to be ready for 2024, Nadal has had to endure pain at every single point in time. Ever since 2005 till now, he's been battling a very chronic foot problem. It has gone to such an extent that Nadal's foot could get deformed in the coming years. But through pain-numbing injections, he's ensured that he's carried on. He used pain-numbing injections to ensure that he won the 2022 French Open. That is the determination that Rafael Nadal has. Wrist injury in 2016, which forced him to miss the French Open. Cracked rib, large numbers of sprains and tears in his body, but most crucially, knee tendinitis. Knee tendinitis is a very degenerative condition in which the knee just refuses to function. Knee tendinitis came out at a very young age for Rafael Nadal because he had to change the way to beat peak Roger Federer. The style of play that Federer had, it made opponents very, very discomforting. Nadal refused to get discomforted and he employed a style of play which dented Federer but unfortunately brought about his knee tendinitis. Career-threatening hip injury. Now remember that hip injury resulted in his longest layoff in the ATP circuit. Hip injury and career not recovering, just ask Andy Murray. Andy Murray had to undergo hip resurfacing surgery. That was how bad it was. So that's why Nadal undergoing that hip injury now 2024, he is ready, but one hopes that he achieves some goals. What are those goals? Try and get to Djokovic's tally of 24 Grand Slams. I have marked 24 with a star because Djokovic could very well win Australian Open. If he does, he becomes the all-time leader in Grand Slam titles, 25. To do it in Australia and overall Margaret Court would be one of the most phenomenal achievements in the history of sport. But Nadal wants to achieve these two things. Win Olympic gold and ensure he extends his record to 15 at Roland Garros. Where is the Paris Olympics happening in tennis? Roland Garros. 14 French Open titles. Just to give you an example, Pete Sampras won 14 Grand Slams in his entire career. Nadal's won 1 Grand Slam 14 times. And he was the first to ensure that he would achieve this feat. Undecima, every single Grand Slam record Nadal has achieved. But if he wins a gold, he would have actually upended one end of the rivalry with Djokovic because Djokovic has never won the Olympic gold. If Nadal wins an Olympic gold, he will join Andy Murray as the only other individual to have won 2 singles gold medals. Andy Murray, if you look at it, was the original trendsetter in Olympics. But will Nadal get to 24 or 25? That is a big bit of a stretch because he currently is trailing Djokovic by 2. If he wins Australia and French, he can level with Djokovic. But if Djokovic wins Wimbledon, then at that time, I think Nadal's quest to at least overhaul Djokovic might never happen. So, 24 Grand Slam titles seem to be a bit of a stretch. Olympic gold and extend his record at French Open. There is one record though which might not happen. Year-ender. Remember, if Djokovic wins the Olympic gold, he will become only the second man to achieve the career Super Grand Slam. Career Super Grand Slam is 4 Grand Slams, Olympic gold and year-ender. Who's done this? Only Andre Agassi's done it. Federer has never won the singles gold. Nadal has never won the year-ender. Djokovic, if he wins the Olympic gold in France, he's achieved the career Super Grand Slam. So that way, if you look at it, these are the 3 goals that Rafael Nadal has. But fans are looking forward to the fact that yes, maybe one final chapter in the Djokovic-Nadal rivalry, 29-31. That is the head-to-head. They have played 60 times, the most anybody's ever played. So that's why 2024, one final time, the Djokovic-Nadal triumvirate. The triumvirate is now a duo. Then after 2024, it will only be a single. So that's why Nadal's comeback is great for tennis. We hope that he achieves his goals in 2024 and that we see a riveting Djokovic versus Nadal clash. Thank you so much folks for joining us for this live. We'll be back with more updates on sports today. Tap that bell icon so you know when we go live and don't forget we are on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram as well. Bye-bye.